What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be doing part 2 of the top 5 hidden features inside the 2019 Volkswagen Tiguan. Now, as you guys know, if you've been following the series, I kind of do a deep dive on these cars and try and find little things or big things that maybe don't plaster the promotional material or make it onto the catchy taglines on articles online, but still things that I think are kind of cool or kind of interesting. Sometimes there's little Easter eggs like callbacks to older models or, you know, little Volkswagen badges hidden in certain places. Not so much on the Tiguan that I could find. They may exist, and if they do, let me know. But I did find 5 more. Now I'm kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel here, but I did find 5 more little things that you may or may not know about. Now, if you do know about them, that's awesome. Leave a comment below, tell me you know about them, but not everybody does. So, you know, just because you're able to find these, you've read through the manual, all that kind of stuff, that's awesome. Not everybody does that, so that's why we make these videos. Now, most of the features on the Tiguan that I'm going to talk about today are inside the cabin. There is one on the tailgate that I've talked about in other videos, but let's take a look at that first. Now, number 1 has to do with the liftgate. Now, I've talked extensively about the liftgate in my other videos, my overview, my top tech, my other top 5 video, really covering every little bit of this. And I'm sure I've made mention of it in passing, but I don't think I've ever really talked about it in detail. And it is the automatic closing button or the easy close button. Now, you do have two buttons here. One is just your normal closing button, and then there's one here that has a little LED light there and a little A next to the liftgate on the picture. Now, that is the automatic closing or easy close button. So let's say, for example, you've got a lot of luggage in here, or you got groceries or something like that, and you don't want to, or you're not able to, press the key fob, press the button, any of those other ways to close it. You're in luck. You can push the automatic close button or the easy close button, get what you need, and when your key fob goes out of range, the trunk will close and lock automatically. So, you know, you've got your hands full, you've got all this kind of stuff, you walk away, whatever, your trunk will close. I think it's about maybe within 15 seconds or when the key is out of range. So really nice feature to have. You don't really have to worry about, you know, closing things on your own or doing it on your own. You know, it's just one of those things. People say, oh, don't be lazy, close your trunk. Sometimes you can't, and you don't want to go inside, come all the way back out, close your trunk again. So just a cool feature to have, automatic closing or easy close on the rear liftgate. Now, the rest of the features are inside the cabin, so let's go ahead and hop in and take a look. All right, now that we're inside the cabin, let's take a look at some other features. Now, number 2 has to do with the navigation system. Now, if you've seen my top tech video, if you haven't, I'll link it up here. But in that video, I talked about how from the 18s into the 19s, there was kind of this shift between the digital dash. It looks completely different. But also in the 19s, there was a mid-model year transition between the infotainment centers. And I'll just put a little clip here just so you can see what I'm talking about. So yeah, I had 2 models that were exactly the same trim and year, but had completely different digital dashes, and I was completely thrown off by it. So I reached out to a Volkswagen rep that we know, and he said that they were doing you know, a mid-model year transition there. But anyway, with the new digital dash, the new infotainment dash there, they made it so you can do full screen navigation. Now, unfortunately, I don't think you can do this with Apple CarPlay, like Apple Maps, Waze, Google Maps, any of those types of things. But with the built-in navigation inside the SEL Premium R line that we've got here, you can make that navigation full screen. So how to do that, you'll just navigate to the navigation tab on the digital dash, press OK. All right, I finally got the map to come up. I had to like put in a point of interest to get it to come up and then start the navigation. I don't know. So apparently I'm traveling to Minnesota because it says 850 something miles away. Anyway, I finally got it to work, got it to come up. Now, right now what I see on the screen is the map is about this big and the gauges are huge. And so what you can do is on the steering wheel controls, on the right side, if you push the OK button, the gauges are gonna shrink down and the map will become a lot larger. Now, it's not full screen necessarily, like I think it should be or could be. All right, guys, so I was editing this video and realized that I made a mistake. Now, I could have just smoothly edited over it, not pointed it out, but I did want to make it clear that yes, I don't always get things right in videos, but I try really hard to do my research, and if I do make a mistake, I don't mind if you guys point it out in the comments below. We can have a good conversation about it, but here we go. Here's me admitting my mistake, and that was that I was talking about the difference between the old digital dash and the updated, like the running year, running change mid-year thing that they did for the digital dash. Now, the old digital dash, to me, it looks bigger, and I'm not sure if it actually is, but the gauges took up like a larger part of the screen, and there was no physical hardware at all. It was all software. Well, when they created the new version that they put in the Atlases, the new Atlases that they're doing it on, and the new Tiguans, they added hardware back for the gas and the temperature gauge on the side. So to me, the screen looks smaller, but I don't really think it is. But the gauges now look a little different. Everything's a little bit cleaner, more simplified, and I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about here. But the old model year version of the digital dash didn't actually have full screen navigation. You could make it bigger, but it didn't take up the entire screen. And I was really confused because I had heard people talk about it, but I wasn't able to get it to work. And I figured out it was because it is new to this year. So let me just show you now truly that you can get full screen navigation. So this is an updated model year here with the digital dash. Make sure you can see it pretty well. There you go. So you can see that you have physical gauges there on the side. You have the gas on one side and the temperature on the other. Now again, if you push the little OK or the little view button right here, it's actually not OK, it's view. If you push view, here's what happens. Boom. True full screen navigation right there. Edge to edge, looks really, really clean. And if you do prefer a little information on the side, you can press view again. And it does a nice little animation there and gives you like, what music you're listening to, how many miles you have left in your tank, things like that. And if you push it again, you can get your gauges back with a nice little blur animation there. So there you go. You have to have, for true full screen navigation, you have to have the model year 19 digital dash. Let's get back to the video. And one more thing I want to mention. So this, I guess it could be like 5.5 hidden features or like 6, but just a neat little thing that they have on here. If you go to the navigation on the actual infotainment like display, and you go to right underneath the little elevation button that tells you what elevation you're at, you can push that, and there's a little rocket that appears on the screen. So you can tap that rocket and it'll shoot you straight up in the air on the map, and it'll give you this huge like overview of like it looks like at least like a 20 to 30 mile radius around your location. So I'm gonna call it rocket mode. I don't know if that's the actual name of it, but it's cool. Just a little, little thing to throw in there. Let's take a look at number 3. Now, number 3 has to do with the parking sensors. So if you go into menu and then you go to vehicle and then you go to settings, you've got, a plethora of settings. But if you go to, I think it's parking and maneuvering. Yeah, parking and maneuvering. Then under Park Pilot, now you have to have Park Pilot, so not all trims are going to have this. But under Park Pilot, you've got front volume, front pitch, rear volume, and rear pitch, and then audio lowering. And so that'll do like automatic ducking. So if you've got music playing, music will dip down for your sensors or things like that. So that's a nice little thing to have too. But what I want to look at is the pitch. Now you should be able to hear this on the audio here, but when you're going forward, you've got your front sensors that start beeping, when you start getting close to an obstacle, and you can actually have that pitch change. Obviously you can change the volume too, but we're talking about pitch here. So right now it's on 9. So you've got, I think 1 through 9. Yeah, 1 through 9. So it's, exactly what you think it is, taking steps up a scale. So down at 1, you got a low, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now people have like very different ears, so some of those pitches may be extremely offensive to your all's ears. So the good part is you can pick a different one. You know, if the beeping thing annoys the heck out of you, just pick a different pitch, maybe one that's not as offensive, maybe a lower one, things like that. And you can do the same with the rear. So right now it's on 4, you can 5, all the way up to 9. So you can change the pitch on your parking sensor beeps. So just thought that was kind of a cool little feature. Let's take a look at number 4. Now number 4 has to do with the glove box. Now I've showed off in other videos how you've got the little navigation disc, CD player in there, and you've got the little SD cards for navigation. But there's a couple cool little, I don't know if they're like just little storage things that I think are neat. You know, most people keep their change in one of these kind of compartments here. You don't have to. Inside the glove box, you've got these little dividers where you can slide some coins down in. So you can have one for quarters and one for nickels and dimes and things like that. You also have, next to the CD player and the SD card slots, you've got little holders for SD cards. So let's say you did, you know, like we've talked about, have images you want to show off in your car. You can store some SD cards in there that have certain pictures on there, and then you can pop them in whenever you want and, you know, not lose them, I guess, because SD cards are pretty easy to lose. And the final thing, there's a kind of like a business card holding slot, I guess you could say. So you could put like things like your insurance card in there, or business cards if you're, you know, a traveling salesman or a businessman like that. So, or woman. So just things like that. I don't know. Nice little features there that you can use. But yeah, so that's number 4, little compartments for storage in the glove box. Now let's take a look at number 5 in the back seat. All right, now the 5th and final feature that we're going to be looking at is the sliding and reclining rear seats. Now you may know or have already known that the seats would slide just by grabbing this bar. Oh, it's so hard. There, or there, back. But they can also recline. So you've got this little loop right here, and you may have known that it was here because you would have to lean the seats forward like this to, you know, get your total amount of cubic feet there in the back. But you can also use that in reverse. So you just pull this little loop right here and you can tilt the seats back a little bit. It's not a ton, but it's better than nothing, as I always say. So that is number 5, sliding and reclining rear seats. All right, guys, and those are 5, maybe 5.5 more secret features inside the 2019 Volkswagen Tiguan. Now, if I missed one or you know of something that's even more secret, drop a comment down below. Let me know what it is. Drop a like if you love the video, and don't forget to subscribe to see more content on the 2019 Volkswagen Tiguan, the 2020 Volkswagen Tiguan, the 2019 Volkswagen Golf R, which I've got a video coming out soon. All kinds of Volkswagen content. It's all here. I've got it for you. So hit that subscribe button and we'll see you in the next one.